look who's back. When that schedule first came out, you and me, we looked that bad boy up and down, and when we got to week 4, we said, well, there it is. Week 4, Washington at Philadelphia. The day that Donovan McNabb walks into Lincoln Financial Field in an opposing uniform. And when we printed out that schedule, we took a look at week 4. Then we circled it a bunch of times. We took a highlighter and highlighted it a bunch of times. We took a marker and underlined it a bunch of times because we knew that game, week 4, was going to be the first test to see if trading away Donovan McNabb to the Washington Redskins and putting Kevin Kolb in as our starter was the right move to make. And it's perfect. Perfect. I mean, what better way to see if this whole trade Donovan McNabb thing is working out than to take a look at these two quarterbacks in the first 3 games of the season and then have them duke it out in week 4. But a little change in cast. No more Kevin Kolb. You got to deal with Mike Vick. Let's play a little game called McNabb versus Vick. Over the first 3 games of the season, McNabb has 883 passing yards. Michael Vick has 750. Advantage Donovan? Not so fast. I mean, keep in mind that Michael Vick has only played 2.5 games of football. McNabb has played all 3. And when you take into consideration that Michael Vick in his first 2 starts in the last 2 games has thrown for an average of 288 yards, you chop that in half, and that clears McNabb's total. So for argument's sake, I'm going to call this one a wash. In the first 3 games, McNabb has a total of 2 touchdowns. Michael Vick has 7. Advantage Michael Vick. In the first 3 games of the season, McNabb has 42 rushing yards. Michael Vick has 170. Advantage Mike Vick. In the first 3 games of the season, McNabb has an 89.2 quarterback rating. Michael Vick has 110.2. Advantage Mike Vick. In the first 3 games of the season, McNabb's completion percentage is 60.8. Michael Vick's completion percentage, 60.7. Look, I'm not going to sit here and nitpick over 1/10 of a point. Not when Michael Vick has only played 2.5 games. This is a wash. In the first 3 games of the season, Donovan McNabb has only thrown 1 interception. Meanwhile, Michael Vick has thrown none. Advantage, once again, Michael Vick. So yes, the game still has yet to be played, but at least on paper, looking pretty good. So now that we've gone through the whole homecoming of McNabb, let's take a look at the rest of the Washington Redskins offense. Their leading receiver is Santana Moss. Getting a little old, a little long in the tooth, but still dangerous enough to burn you. Right now he has 22 receptions for 290 yards and a touchdown. Their other big target is Chris Cooley, their tight end, who's coming off of a down year. But with a tight end friendly quarterback like Donovan McNabb, he has 14 receptions for 197 yards and a 14.1 yard per reception average. Their running back is Clinton Portis. Dude's getting old. Right now in 2010, he has a 3.7 yard per carry average and only 2 touchdowns on the year. Collectively, this Washington Redskins offense is ranked 13th, 7th in passing, but only 28th in rushing offense. This Washington Redskins defense runs a 3-4, same as the Packers. The defensive ends are Carricker and Golston, who have half a sack between the 2 of them. Not very good. But then again, in a 3-4 defense, mostly your pass rush comes from your outside backers. And of course, you cannot forget about Albert Haynesworth in the middle, who despite signing a $100 million contract with the Redskins a few years ago, has been, what would you say, pretty much worthless. This guy takes all this money from the Redskins, doesn't even show up to OTAs, shows up to training camp out of shape, and then bitches about having to practice. And he's worth $100 million. Seriously, I could take a dump in the middle of this floor, Say it's worth $100 million. But at the end of the day, it's still just a big pile of Hainsworth. The Redskin linebackers. These are the guys you got to look out for. I mean, you got Brian Orakpo, who leads the team with 2 sacks. Then you got London Fletcher. Both those guys are coming off of Pro Bowl years. And then you got Rocky McIntosh and Andre Carter to worry about. I would say that this Washington Redskins linebacking core, yeah, they might just be the best in the NFL. The best safety is LaRon Landry, who leads the team in tackles. But you know you got a problem when your safety is your leading tackler. So basically, to sum up this Washington Redskins defense, you know, I've been hearing all week, how the Washington Redskins defense is going to be able to control Michael Vick. How the Washington Redskins defense is better than Detroit, is better than Jacksonville. Really? Go ahead and look it up on NFL.com. The Washington Redskins have the 32nd ranked defense as far as yards go. Yeah, okay, you're 11th against the run. You're 31st against the pass. And you're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. And you let the Rams throw up 30 points against you last week. And I know what the Redskins fans are going to say. Well, you let the Detroit Lions throw 30 up against you. Yeah, but we won that game. You didn't. So shut up. So here is how the NFC East leading Philadelphia Eagles win this football game. Key to victory number 1. You have to control McNabb. Because we know this guy. You and me. We know Donovan McNabb. We know that when he has a bad game like he had against St. Louis, he usually follows it up the next week with a terrific performance. And as if the St. Louis loss wasn't motivation enough, he's playing against the team that traded him. He's playing in front of the fans that booed him at the draft and frequently booed him through the best years of his career. Needless to say, emotions are going to be running high. You got to get to McNabb, and you got to get to him early. And don't let him score early. I mean, don't let him throw a couple touchdown passes in the first quarter. Because when McNabb's feeling confident, when McNabb has his rhythm, when McNabb has his timing, he's hard to stop. And then when he gets into a rhythm and gets the lead, it's all about the fucking guitar playing, the fucking Michael Jackson. And I don't need that shit. None of it. I don't need it. Not when Donovan McNabb's in a Washington Redskins uniform. It wasn't even cool when he was doing it in the Eagles uniform. But you and I know this guy. And we know that if you take away his timing, if you take away his rhythm, if you make him feel uncomfortable, if you get to him early, if you make him play from behind, we know this guy. And I'll just leave it at that. Key to victory number 2. But so far, offensively, it seems like everybody's been invited to the party. LaShawn McCoy had a breakout game against the Lions. Jeremy Maclin had 2 touchdown passes last week. Deshaun Jackson's catching bombs like we're used to. Who's missing? Paging Brent Selleck. The fuck you been? So far, in the first 3 games of the season, Brent Selleck has 9 receptions for 101 yards. That's not the Brent Selleck we all know and love. Not to mention that he hasn't found the end zone once. But in this Eagles offense against this Washington Redskins defense, if one of those outside linebackers are coming, and one of those backers have their eye on Mike Vick the whole time, there's got to be some open space in the middle of the field. So here it is, the Mighty E-Rock's Week 4 prediction. Look, in the beginning, I broke down the statistical comparison between Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb. But here's the most important statistic of them all. As the Washington Redskins starting quarterback, Donovan McNabb is 1-2. As the Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback, Michael Vick is 2-0. And if Michael Vick continues to play against the Redskins the way he played against the Detroit Lions and against the Jacksonville Jaguars, come Sunday night, the Washington Redskins will be 1-3. I guarantee it. I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this football game 31-27. It's time for a little Facebook Friday. Congratulations to Natalie from Boston. Boston. Is that the way to say it? For winning last week's Facebook Friday. This week's Facebook Friday prize is a Philadelphia Eagles team print autographed by former Eagles wide receiver and Eagles legend Harold Carmichael, and also a 2010 Philadelphia Eagles yearbook. So check out my Facebook page if you want your Dallas Sucks Mighty E-Rock bumper sticker. Email me at themightyerock@yahoo.com. Let's go Birds, and I will see you next week.